Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is 24K hosting Rants with my co-host.
And I'm Falcon.
And we want to talk about this past Monday Night Raw, February 24th edition. So, what are your thoughts, Falcon?
Well, I thought it was interesting that they opened up with Hulk Hogan returning. I thought that they would save that towards the end of the show to kind of keep the ratings constant, to keep the eyeballs on the TV screen. But it was a surprise to see him come out first. I guess it was just kind of a way to set the tone for the show, that it'll get the crowd going, get them cheering, get them hyped up. As far as him coming back, my thoughts on it, it doesn't do anything for me personally. He's an older wrestler. Yes, he has many great moments, and he's had many great matches, and he's been everywhere. And I appreciate what he's done for the business, but it's 2014. It's not 1994. It's not
the senior circuit.
Yeah, seriously. So WWE has plenty of other talent that they can build and work on and get acquainted with the crowd. So they should be focusing on that, not so much trying to bring in these older wrestlers. But that's just my opinion. I know the crowd loved it. They ate it up, obviously. It's Hulk Hogan. So, we'll see where it's going from there. Luckily, he's just hosting WrestleMania, and he's not supposed to be getting involved, which we'll see what that means, because we saw what happened when the last person hosted WrestleMania, which was The Rock, and he got involved with their main event, which is complete bullshit, if you ask me.
That's a good point. Yeah, I was just thinking that yeah, it's nice to see him back, but yeah, it doesn't do too much for me. Yeah, it's nice to see his entrance and hear his music again, and I liked his entrance and music, but other than that, it doesn't really do too much for me. I just hope he doesn't interfere with a match and screw over someone, which is very possible. What does a host of WrestleMania even do, really?
Just
aside from host.
Yeah, just talking up, and it's a focal point.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, really.
We're hosts ourselves. We don't know what we do, really. No, I'm just kidding. We talk.
Yeah.
Walk. Talk and walk.
Not at the same time.
Yeah, we can't do multiple things at once. Well, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. Yeah. So let's get to the matches. What was the first match? It was Alberto Del Rio versus... Alberto Del Rio? I mean, Rio. That sounded like it's a diarrhea or something. Alberto Del Rio versus Batista. Boring as usual. I mean, I liked Del Rio at one point, but I don't know. He kind of seems to be brushed aside a little bit. I know he's feuding with Batista, and obviously that's he's feuding with someone who's in the main match at WrestleMania, so that's something. But I don't know. These matches don't really do it for me. They're boring.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, we saw this during the Elimination Chamber. Now it's just a rematch. And this time they gave Del Rio the win, which helps his character out a little bit. But it was off a Randy Orton distraction, which is just, a classic move to build up towards, a future match.
I mean, they made it a little more tolerable having ADR win, because I don't really like Batista that much. But, I mean, back in the day I kind of liked him. But, again, the thing is that I don't like the fact that he's automatically given this huge push the second he gets back after not wrestling for 4 years. That just doesn't sit right with me.
Same.
So, moving on, the next match was Cesaro versus Big E, and I think Cesaro, like I said in a previous video, has potential to be a superstar. Yeah, I know technically he is called a superstar, but I mean, to be in more main matches and stuff. I was happy to see him in the Chamber. I knew most likely he wasn't going to win, but I was just happy to see him in the main match, because he hasn't really been in too many main matches. Plus, the one criticism of the Chamber match was I would have liked to see him pin someone, but oh well, what are you going to do? This match, him versus Big E, what do you think of that match?
I don't get why they even had it with a DQ finish. unless if they're building towards splitting up the Real Americans, because if you remember, Swagger came out and jumped into the ring and started beating on Biggie, and that kind of, it looked like it ticked Cesaro off a little bit, but then he ended up attacking Biggie Langston. So I think the point was to maybe plant the seed for dissension. But other than that, they took a match that could have been really good. Both Cesaro and Biggie are great competitors. They're great at wrestling. And it could have been a really good match. I was actually really excited to see, because who knows, what kind of match you could have and what the future could hold for a feud like that.
Yeah.
But to have it end the way it did,
it kind of sucked the way it ended. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would have liked to see Cesaro win, not by DQ. And it's a similar type of situation with the Shield, with Ambrose interfering and costing Reigns to win. And I don't know. Cesaro, give him a win.
Right.
So, the next match, Wyatt's versus Cena. What do you think of that one?
Oh, that was more of Cena calling out the Wyatts, and then the Wyatts responded, and they attacked him. And what it looks like they're setting up is Cena being injured and fighting Bray Wyatt with a really bad injury, which they can go one of two ways. Either that he's so hurt that Bray picks up the win, or Cena overcomes some crazy injury and beats Bray Wyatt, because they're building towards a WrestleMania match with these two.
Yeah, that's a good point. They could build off the injury angle. I mean, yeah, for the most part, most of these times the injuries are fake as part of storylines, although sometimes they're real. But I'll tell you something, Cena did have a good acting job if it was fake.
Yeah,
and most likely,
it was very convincing.
Most likely it was.
Yeah.
Sheamus versus Christian, I don't know. I mean, I don't hate Sheamus, I don't hate Christian, but I don't know. I didn't really see the point.
Yeah, it was a filler match. They made it off their pre-show, which it was the launch of the WWE Network, so they wanted people to watch the pre-show. So they have a segment where Christian and Sheamus are arguing back and forth, and Brad Maddox jumps in and makes the match. So they did it to kind of tie into the WWE Network. The match itself wasn't really anything impressive. They gave Sheamus the win, which to me makes sense, but it wasn't anything spectacular.
I guess it only made sense in the aspect that they faced each other in the chamber, and they wanted to build off of that, I guess.
And it looks like they're turning Christian completely heel, so we're going to see the bad guy Christian again, which is always entertaining. He plays both characters very well.
One more match!
No. He got his one more match. Now he's getting one more.
He's been saying that for years.
Yeah.
Okay, Bryan calls out Triple H. What do you think of that, man?
It's setting up towards that Triple H match with him. Before Daniel Bryan went up against Kane, that match was very good in my opinion. But he did confront Triple H out in the parking lot, and you saw a lot of passion there, like him arguing, getting in Triple H's face. You almost want to believe that passion and anger was legitimate, like he's legitimately pissed off about being misused.
Yeah.
So I think in a way he's taking some of his real feelings and using it on his character. So that's a possibility why it came off so well, or that he's just really good at what he does, which could be either or. But as far as the match itself, Daniel Bryan versus Kane, it's something that's been building for a little while. Very short while, actually, because that feud with Kane was actually supposed to be CM Punk's, which we'll get into him a little later. So they had to replace Punk with Bryan, but throughout the year, there's been little hints towards, tension between the two. The match was good. It's good to see Daniel Bryan pick up the win, because it's the little guy getting revenge.
Yes. They finally gave him a win.
Yeah, that's
but it was a pretty good match. Him against his former Team Hell No counterpart, which was one of the most bizarre tag teams in WWE history, but exciting and funny, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
At the time. But, yeah, I'm not really digging the corporate Kane that much.
I kind of like the character.
Do you?
To be honest, it's different.
It's different. It's different. I give
obviously,
him that.
from his, monster Big Red Machine days. But I think he plays that kind of cynical corporate big shot really well.
That's true.
But he's also kind of, demonic, obviously, still, because he's still sticking with the name Kane. They haven't changed it to Glenn Jacobs or some other name.
That's true.
But to me, it's working for me. I think he plays off the authority figure pretty well. So.
He does. Emma vs. Summer Rae, I don't really have too much to say about this match.
It was nice to see Emma wrestle and kind of get a good look at what she can do in the ring. But to me, the match wasn't really... It didn't really stand out for me. Like I said, it was just to showcase Emma and what she can do. And maybe build Summer Rae up because she's going to be the new diva on the Total Diva show. So
that's a good point.
So they really want to try to get her in the spotlight again. But I think any show where you're not using your Divas champion, AJ Lee, at this point, you're doing it an injustice. I agree. They should have tied in AJ somewhere. Maybe have her spectate the match.
Or interfere or something.
Yeah, something like that. But
I mean, one thing I do like, Vaughn, Dawn, go! I like his theme music. I really do. But
I like Emma's dance, though.
Yeah, that's true. I like her dance is funny. But aside from that, yeah, the match wasn't that great. I mean, moving on. Usos versus NAO, New Age Outlaws.
That was a quick match.
It was quick.
It was done.
Not much to say.
I got enough to say. Don't worry.
Well, he has stuff to say. So
this is the ranting part.
Yeah.
How do you let a team that just lost to that same team, the Usos, just losing to the New Age Outlaws the night before, how does it make sense to have them beat the New Age Outlaws in less than 30 seconds?
Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
It's humor, just like how look what happened. But if you're gonna push New Age Outlaws, let them continue to win. If you're gonna push the Usos, let them win, but don't give them some quick 5-second win.
Yeah,
I didn't like that. I like the fact that they gave them the win, but I don't like how quick it was.
That's true. I mean, you have to think though that this as well. I think the New Age Outlaws are probably only going to be there temporarily, short term. I don't see them being there more than a year. Right. So, yeah, they did give them a push right away, but at the same time, they're going to kind of go back on that a little bit. The WWE, I think.
Yeah.
Bray vs. Reigns. That was a good match up until the end.
Yeah, they were. It was entertaining. It was good, similar to the Shield vs. Wyatt. At the Elimination Chamber, you take two really good wrestlers, up and coming guys, and give them the chance in the spotlight. And it could have been better. I think the DQ finish was just a build towards another match between the Shields and Wyatts, which is something I'll get into later. But I was never a fan of DQ endings. I hate them. But
yeah.
If you're going to use them to build towards another match, then that's fine.
Similar to aspect of Jack Swagger causing the DQ for Cesaro, same type of thing. I mean, you got to think that the Shield, as much as I'd like them to stay together, sometime relatively soon, we're going to stop believing in the Shield. I do love their entrance, though, through the audience. I hope they still continue that in some way, even if they go off being individually. Or maybe it's possible that Reigns and Rollins tag team, possibly, and Ambrose does his own thing. Who knows? But there's a lot of possibilities.